Denis McDonough was White House Chief of Staff for President Barack Obama. The role is often called the second most powerful job in Washington. McDonough joined the Obama administration in 2007 as a foreign policy advisor. He was named Deputy National Security Advisor in 2010, then Chief of Staff in 2013. He is now a senior principal at the Markle Foundation. He focuses on training American workers for new jobs in the digital economy. He is here for his first television interview since leaving the White House. Denis McDonough, welcome.
Thanks, Charlie. It's good to be back, and it's nice to see you back, too.
Yes. Thank you so much. Let me just ask you, do you have any idea, speculate for us, what President Trump is talking about when he says, I have evidence? He seems to be almost sometimes doubling down, sometimes pulling back. What could he be thinking about?
I simply don't have any idea. The president, that is to say, the former President Obama, said the claim that he had ordered a wiretap, his spokesman said that's completely false. And we had a cardinal rule, Charlie, when the White House, which is we would not, under any circumstances, get involved in any investigations one way or the other. So I don't know what he's referring to. And it appears that the Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill, people like Director of National Intelligence Jim Clapper, and others have no idea what he's talking about either.
And even some Republicans have said they've seen no evidence.
Well, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee is a Republican, and I think he calls himself an ally of President Trump. And he said yesterday that he does not believe this happened.
But Mr. McDonough, what do you make of the claim when you first heard it? He called President Barack Obama a bad, sick guy.
Yeah.
Well, I think you saw the strength of the statement that the president's spokesman put out. Which
I know,
is
but I'm asking you. I'm asking you because you were there and you know this man, and you know what went on in the White House.
I know what went on in the White House, and we stand by the work that we did, including the work that led to 8 years of a foreign terrorist organization not carrying out a terrorist attack on this in this country. Mm-hmm. We take great pride in that, and we relied on the intelligence professionals and our military and defense officials to make that happen. Mm-hmm. We're greatly proud of that. We should be focused on precisely that rather than speculating about these other charges.
So, Denis, there are multiple tweets by Donald Trump where he said, President Obama has tapped my phones. Is it legal for a sitting president to be wiretapping during a Can the president order a wiretap?
President cannot order a wiretap. President does not order a wiretap. The president did not order a wiretap.
Got it. Let me ask you this. The House Intelligence Committee is going to hold its first public hearing about Russia's alleged meddling in the 2016 election on Monday. What are some of the questions you want to see answered on this subject about what Russia may have done during the election?
Well, I'd sure like to make sure that we're taking the next step now. We saw before we left, the President Obama tasked the intelligence community to give us an assessment of precisely what we understood to have happened during the election. He was a victim himself of hacking in the 2008 campaign. So clearly we're in a new age of these hacks being an issue in our campaigns. So what I'd like to see is Congress beginning now to implement some policies to ensure that this does not happen again. But unfortunately, there still has to be a little bit of accounting in terms of what happened. I still see a little bit too much questioning of whether the Russians in fact did involve themselves in the election. I think that's an open and shut question.
You think it's clear that Russia was meddling?
No question about it.
No question.
So why do you think the president is denying it?
Trump?
Again, I'm not going to be in a position to be able to characterize why he is. And I think at different times he's acknowledged after.
Among others, he says.
Yeah, he's acknowledged the Russian role. But again, the important thing about acknowledging it is it will allow us then to take the next step to protect our election so it doesn't happen again. That's what the American people should expect. We're the United States of America. Nobody messes in our elections. And we ought to make sure that that does not happen again.
Mm-hmm. The efforts to dismantle Obamacare do not seem to be going as smoothly as they had predicted before they got into the White House. As you sit and watch this unfold, what are your thoughts?
You know, General Jones was President Obama's first national security advisor. He used to say, if you want it bad, you get it bad. Mm-hmm. And they seem to have gotten it bad. Mm-hmm. They have a plan here that will push 24 million people out of health care, back into the kind of confused and insecure state where they don't have the peace of mind that comes from having health insurance and having their kids have health insurance. Mm-hmm. So we think that's a big mistake. Mm-hmm. So what I hope is that they go back to square one now and try to address what are some fixable problems in the existing program, not try to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, you admit there are some problems with Obama.
But President Obama has admitted there's some problems, and he, in fact, wrote a complete article in the journal of one of the medical journals, laying out precisely the steps that he would take to strengthen the law. We should do that.
If you had it to do over, would you do individual mandates?
Look, the individual mandate goes to the heart of the question.
It does.
There's about 118 million people in this country with what are called pre-existing conditions. Under the old system, insurance companies could say to you, if you're one of those 118 million people, we're not going to cover you. Mm-hmm. And those pre-existing conditions, Charlie, cover the range of questions. Mm-hmm. So in order for us to say to insurance companies, you have to cover everybody. You can't say to those 118 million people, you don't get coverage. Everybody else has to be in the program.
But is the only way to do it individual mandates is the question.
We looked very hard at this, and people, policymakers, Republicans, Democrats, nonpartisan have looked at it. And this goes to the heart of the CBO score from earlier this week. They found because of many of these changes, including the unfair tax changes that give a big tax break to the most wealthy Americans, and because they pulled back the individual mandate, 24 million people are going to lose their health insurance. If you want it bad, you get it bad. They've gotten it bad.
You seem to be enjoying what you're doing now. Do you miss the day-to-day? The job you had is considered one of the key political jobs to have. Do you miss the day-to-day of that?
Well, I don't. I love seeing my wife and my kids every day. What I do miss is I miss my friends and my colleagues in the White House. That was a team that was a lot of fun to be part of, and I miss that.
And now your work at the Markle Foundation, it's interesting because you're talking about training people for this new digital economy, right?
Well, look, we've all experienced this, right? We all have friends. We all see what's happening in this economy. When I started this in the White House 8 years ago, we did not see and did not experience the kind of technological change we've seen. And we see now that we have to make sure that our workers are trained for jobs in the age of automation, age of artificial intelligence. Markle Foundation is doing that. I'm really pleased to be working with them to ensure that the 68% of the workforce that does not have a college degree has the skills that they need to succeed.
Do we know how to do that?
Markle's got some ideas, and the governor of Colorado, with whom we've been working, has got some ideas, and it involves making sure that people get access to a job training coach and good job training so they get the jobs they need.
Have you spoken to the president recently, the former president?
I haven't spoken to the president, but I have spoken to the former president,
So my quick question to you is that he's filled out his brackets, and as I understand it, he's predicting Duke wins the Final Four.
No, UNC.
No,
North
UNC
Carolina.
beats Duke.
He's predicting the Tar Heels.
So
he's not going to. Every March he really makes Reggie Love mad.
Oh yeah.
He also makes
Reggie
my
was a
friend
former
Marty
Duke
Dempsey.
player.
Yeah. He also
What
makes
grade
my
would
friend
you
Marty
give
Dempsey
Reince
down.
Priebus? I know you got to go. Your successor. What grade would you?
I'm not going to grade my successor. As you all have just said, it's a tough job, and he's a good man. I hope that he's just doing what a chief of staff needs to do, which is you got to give it straight to the president, and you got to protect your team, make sure your team gets their shot at these difficult questions, and I hope he's doing that.
All right.
Well, hope you'll come back. Always nice to talk to you.
It's really great to see you guys. Thanks so much.
Denis McDonough, thank you.